find them, never leave a trace. Blockchain, block party, meeting face to face. Best builders in the game, working at their pace. Scrolling through the tickers, wallet loaded, ready. Diving in deep, keep the mindset steady. Builders stacking code like Tetris blocks. Innovators pushing boundaries, no padlocks.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Late Night on Base. I'm your host, Buildable, back at it, cooking some amazing podcasts, amazing interviews today. Very stoked to have Timu on the show. Player Zero from Player Zero, the head of Player Zero. Super impressive project, like massively impressive. It's an honor to have them on. We're going to chat all about him and the project and what they're building. If you like gaming, metaverse, NFTs, avatars, this is the show for you. But without further ado, Timu, how you doing today, my friend?
Thank you. Yeah, great to be here. I'm doing well. Super excited to speak about avatars and identities and games and everything. And yeah, definitely thanks for having me.
Pleasure's all mine, my friend. Pleasure's all mine. As I was telling you beforehand, gaming, NFTs, that's like my jam, right? And so having a digital identity and avatar, it's just, like I said, I love talking to meme projects. I love talking to DeFi, but I really love just talking with real builders, especially on base, and just working hard to kind of reshape how things are done in crypto, how to improve people's lives. And virtual avatars really interest me because I think, like I said, NFT land, you have an avatar. It's like a reflection of you. Now, if you have a virtual avatar that's, able to respond and move and different things and characters going into different places and that's your own, I think it's extremely important. But let's dive in to maybe there's somebody on Spotify listening for the first time. You never heard of Player Zero. Maybe they're on Pods Media listening to something on chain. They're on YouTube, Twitch, wherever the case is, coming across Player Zero for the very first time. If you don't mind, what is Player Zero?
For sure. So I'll start by kind of explaining Player Zero, and then I'll also give some background on like where we're coming from. We've been building for more than a decade. So Player Zero, our goal is to give players an avatar identity that travels with you across many different virtual worlds, kind of becomes your virtual identity. The gaming world is a fully kind of fragmented space today. And every game has its own economy, its own identities, its own avatars. People spend hundreds of hours playing games, leveling up their characters, making friends. And when you leave the game, then you lose all progress and all these assets and everything. So through avatars, through avatar identities, through Player Zero, we're trying to build a more kind of connected virtual world, enable a kind of a more open virtual world, open metaverse. So we're basically taking the kind of essential pieces for player side and making them interoperable. And that's your avatar, which is kind of representation of identity, the assets you can buy for it. We're also working on a kind of social graph so you can keep playing with friends across games. And through doing that, we kind of create a more consistent experience across different games, and we're creating an open economy of assets that kind of that can be used in many different games. And yeah, we think like blockchain is best used when you have an asset that many different kind of parties use. So that then it really makes sense to have something on chain. So when you have a truly interoperable asset, that's where the real power of ownership and kind of having these assets on blockchain really comes out. So that's what we're kind of enabling with Player Zero. And Player Zero is kind of the consumer-facing platform. But kind of just to give you some background on the company and why we're the right company to build it. We've been around for 11 years as a company, and we started from hardware, building scanners to scan people with hundreds of cameras in the studio. Then we spent quite a few years kind of custom building avatar tech for big gaming companies like Tencent and Wargaming, and also like Verizon and things like that. And then we launched ReadyPlayMe, which is the kind of creator of Player Zero. And ReadyPlayMe is, we provide kind of avatar APIs, SDKs for game developers to build character systems. And that was the necessary first step to actually get to Player Zero, because there are no standards for avatars across games. So you can't just take a model and make it usable across games. They're all different. There's many different game engines. So ReadyPlayMe avatars and our tech is used by 4,000 companies already. Some big companies like Ubisoft, but also many smaller game developers, app builders, virtual VR experiences, and many different things. And that kind of create the right foundation to actually build kind of a consumer experience where you can create the avatar and use it across many different games and experiences. Yeah, and like, we have 65, 70 people in the team, all kind of like very deep in avatar tech and interoperability and all this stuff. And yeah, we raised like $72 million from ASICS and Z and stuff. So we've been kind of building a long time, and now we're kind of like building this Player Zero, which kind of brings together our vision of kind of building a more open virtual world and having this kind of portal for players to where the kind of journey starts.
That's really remarkable. There's a lot to unpack what we just said. First of all, impressive list of backers. The who's who have, obviously seen your vision. So you're on the right step. You're not somebody who's just living in your mom's basement, 18-year-old dev. No offense to 18-year-old devs living on mom's basements, but it's a sophisticated team raising money, 65 to 70 people, and you guys have been cooking for about 11 years. That's insane. Let's just quick question. Like 11 years ago, I know you're doing scanners and stuff, but like, could you ever fathom that this is the direction you would take?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, so I was 20 years old, so not quite 18, but close. So, and we didn't, of course, like imagine exactly how it's going to play out, but like even with the hardware we built, like the goal was to have these scanners in public places, and we had a deal with Paramount to have them in like movie theaters and stuff. And the idea was to scan people, and there was like a model there where like, we would work with movies, for example, and create an avatar version of your like movie character or whatever. So anyways, like the idea was to create a database of like avatars and models, and then like connect those with games. So it becomes kind of your gaming identity. So it was like the very high level idea, but we were 20 and didn't know anything about anything, starting in Estonia, trying to figure out how to build things, and doing hardware because there was no way to actually create avatars, like personal avatars without hardware back then. And then kind of deep learning came around, and we built like a selfie to personal avatar kind of an SDK that was at the core of like the working with the bigger kind of gaming studios and stuff as well. So it's been many kind of evolutions and pivots and stuff, but like the kind of core belief was always that avatars are such an important part of how we represent our identities in virtual worlds, and people will spend more and more time in virtual worlds, and we really care about having kind of good avatar representation. And it was like kind of like we wanted to build like a more kind of an interoperable thing, but it took some years to actually get to it. So really for me, like 4 years ago or so, we launched it, and that was the first truly kind of interoperable avatar system.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I mean, to any entrepreneurs listening, it doesn't matter how young you are, if you have a dream, a vision, because we talk a lot. I mean, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. If you're in this, you're building somehow, you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't mean
yes.
So I think having this kind of advice is, my audience really likes it. So, point story. You have a dream, no matter where you're in the world, just work on it, and eventually you'll get there. So kudos to you. So let's talk real quick. So if you guys are on Spotify, I encourage you guys, come to YouTube. On YouTube, you guys can see a visual of what we're talking about. We're looking at the Player Zero website, so you can see everything. But let's talk about how it works, because I want to, in the simplest level, like I said, you want to make this as easy for retail consumer as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding how this process works. So let's pretend I'm someone on Coinbase Wallet. I'm one of the 1 billion users onboarded. I come in, I learn about Player Zero. I want to create a digital avatar. Talk to us how it works with this example of what we're seeing.
Yeah. So, by the way, you can also launch the app, so you can jump into the product as well.
Oh yeah, where
is the app? Up.
Oh yeah,
when you scroll
of course.
up,
Let's go. I love app stuff.
Yeah. So,
launch app. Let's go.
Launch app. Boom.
Oh, let's go. I actually enjoy these things. I have to create.
Yeah.
Do I have to log in? No. Or create a new avatar. All right.
Yeah.
Everyone see, I'm actually creating my own avatar. This gentleman kind of resembles me. I'll take it.
So actually, it doesn't show on the screen for some reason. At least I can't see it. Maybe it doesn't update for me.
Let's see.
I still see the main
need
page.
to see this. Oh yeah, it's because I'm. Oh yeah.
New tab.
No. We need to show this. This is important. Hold on. Share this tab. Boom.
Yeah. So basically, to answer the question, avatar creation, as you see, is free. So if you're a new user base, you can just create your avatar. Yeah, we have, you can customize it quite a bit. So if you go on the left, you can go into the clothing, for example. So you can kind of create like a basic kind of avatar with just customizing it with wearables, and then basically you can jump into games. We can try that, but as well. So and then like if you want to have the kind of Web3 experience, and if you want to buy assets, then we have a few different wearable collections that you can buy. There's one that we launched. It was an open Minton base that is like kind of an easy way to get involved. Yep, you can click on this, playing games.
So when I push playing games, now I can like actually take that avatar and play it into this game. Ooh, interesting. Let's see.
That's a very simple kind of web shooter. But yeah, we have kind of like 15 games live. We're gonna launch many more. So the idea is that you can go from creating an avatar to jumping into a game like in a very kind of quick way, and you can buy wearables. All these avatars, you can use the same avatar we created in all those games. We'll add some social features as well, so you can keep playing. You can play with friends. Yeah, so there's like the kind of core platform, creating an avatar, jumping into a game. Don't need any Web3 elements.
Hold on. Again. Okay, I'm actually horrible at games. Let's see. Okay, like I'm literally gonna like get killed in a second.
I think actually.
I apologize for my. Okay, I'm embarrassing myself. I need to.
Let's try it. Press X.
Yeah, let's
go into games again, and let's choose like an easy to play game.
I'm literally. I need to stick to literally. I need to literally stick to interviewing people because I'm terrible at these things. Let's try one more. Which one's the easiest?
Let's do the Rampage Riders on that right top right. Yeah, this one. Yeah, it's like a BMX game.
Yeah, they pay me not to play games. They pay me to interview people. My gaming, although I used to be really good at FIFA, I will say that I would dominate some people in FIFA. All right, click to start. Let's see.
Yep. You'll do like a little tutorial. It's the same out there, just created.
Okay. I'll play for a little bit. So A is to swipe left.
Yeah.
B is to swipe right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, W is to jump. Okay. I think we could do this. Let's see.
Yeah.
S is to land quickly. All right. E. This is actually hilarious.
S, hold the S for a wheelie. And your goal is to survive as long as you can. You can jump. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, that's it. It's important. That was actually kind of fun. I'll have to practice it, but it's important to know, just for viewers, the process of literally creating a character and playing in a game literally took about a minute. And then if I wanted to save it, just so I know, so people can kind of learn, how would I save it? Would I have to log in to do it, or what's the way?
You can log in and save the avatar or save the account.
Just go to log in. Okay, so I would log in either with my wallet or an email.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
And then you can buy like different wearables, NFT wearables on base, and then apply it, to the avatar, so the wearables actually become usable in games.
Very cool. Super simple, actually.
Yep. We'll not probably, but for sure, we will support other avatars as well. So, some kind of known Web3 3D collections, avatar collections. You can bring them in and, use the same wearables that are like for the Player Zero ecosystem. You can use them on like other avatars as well. You can match the wearables with different kind of base avatars. So you can kind of bring in whatever avatar you want to your own and use it across all those games.
Amazing. A digital identity, like I said, through interoperable different games. That's the way it is. Like I said, NFTs, why are NFTs so popular in 2021? It was your own identity. So this is now taking it inside games, which is the next evolution. Let me ask you this, Timmy.
Yeah.
Now you say you can take your character and go into the metaverse, like I assume like Sandbox or something of that nature. How does that work?
Yeah. So basically, games, there are no standards in games and how like characters are built. So they're like, file formats, animation rigs, and how they animate, and all these things are very different in games. So what happens when you click on one of the games, they use our SDK, and we deliver the character in the specification on this game, or even the art style. So the avatar actually looks different from game to game in order for it to kind of fit the world and the game that it goes into. And it doesn't matter what engine the developer uses. There's Unreal, there's Unity, there's like many different game engines. When the developer uses our SDK, we basically do the conversion from their player zero technical specification to their technical specification, and also the art style kind of matching.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very complicated thing to do. And we can do that because we've been spending so much time building these avatar systems and things. Bless you. And then, yeah, we don't have Sandbox at the moment. Sandbox is a voxel kind of a experience, which is a very different kind of animation system. But yeah, we started from web games also because we want to like have a very kind of a casual, easy, simple gaming experience to start, and then we'll add more kind of complicated, longer-term games over time. But yeah, we just announced the game today. It's a poker game actually, Lost Meta. And we will have a lot of announcements coming out in the next weeks and months. We have kind of signed a bunch of games that we haven't announced yet that will, come to the platform. So yeah, but technically to make one avatar and set of assets usable across many games, like nobody has ever solved this problem before.
Yeah. It hasn't. Yeah, I remember thinking in 2021, like, how cool would it be if you have what you guys are doing, being able to plug this into different games. That was like the next. I know people were talking about it, but no one really did it. So it's good to see things evolving. Before we kind of dive deep, like I said, what separates my podcast from others? We'd like to talk about the project, and that's good. But I think it's important to have trust and vulnerability from the founders, and I like to dive deep into them, what makes them work. But before we dive into that, actually, no, I want to dive into that. I have a question for you. What keeps you so motivated to work day in and day out on this project when you could probably be doing a lot of other things, but you've chosen to spend your youth, your prime, to build Player Zero? Why?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think it's just like we've been spending so much time around this problem because like we believe that the next generation of the internet, which is kind of more of a virtual world, kind of a 3D world and so forth, it's going to happen, and avatars identities are going to be such an important part of it. That's how we initially got into the space. And then we realized that if it's going to happen that we just spend a lot of time in virtual worlds, but it's going to be just a bunch of walled gardens, then we're going to have like kind of like a few people just dominate the whole space, and it will be a very kind of a boring experience. For us to get to the real kind of metaverse idea, the metaverse is a great word to explain what I mean, but it's like a ruined by meta and the kind of last cycle perhaps as well. But anyways, like the metaverse is kind of the next, like it's like internet. It's like you have to, like in internet, you're using the internet is like you go from page to page and you have a kind of a consistent experience. That doesn't exist in gaming today. So enabling that kind of experience where we are in a connected virtual world built by many different developers, many brands and creators are involved in it, and there's like a kind of an open economic system. It's just like the most exciting thing I can imagine to work on. And also like we're kind of uniquely qualified to do that because of our background. So someone needs to make this thing happen. Someone needs to enable this kind of a world. And it's just like I cannot imagine anything more exciting to do, even in the age of AI and stuff, when like there's a lot of opportunity there, there's a lot of interesting things there. We're not pivoting to some AI thing because we really believe this is a massive problem, a massive unlock. There's such a big economy in these games already. People spend so much time in these games already, and if we can make them more open, leaning into the Web3 kind of principles and also what it kind of enables as technology, then that's like it's a gigantic kind of opportunity, and it's such an unlock. So it's so obvious for me that's the case, and that's why I'm just so excited to work on this thing and try to make it a reality.
Yeah, there's potential out there that hasn't been solved yet, and that's where you come in because you see where the future is going, and someone needs to do it. Why not you? Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Talk to me real quick though, but like, okay, so 2021, the cycle was dominated by NFTs and in the metaverse. Those were literally the topics of
Hmm.
everyone's mind. 2024, 2025, the cycle has been dominated all by memes.
Hmm.
NFTs and metaverses have literally taken a back seat. They haven't had that resurgence.
Yeah.
What do you think in your head, in your mind, will be the catalyst to get the metaverse and gaming, especially and NFTs, back into the forefront and lead the sector?
Yeah. Well, I think like people were very excited about speculating with meme coins, and that it has a function. Like it's fun. But it's like it doesn't give you the same experience than investing or taking part, and collecting itself. Like I'm not collecting, investing, two different things, but like it doesn't give it the same experience as being a part of a project early on that actually creates a lot of value for the world. So I think like people kind of like are now getting back to this track of like, okay, yes, it's cool to speculate with meme coins, but also this like it's just so many rocks, so many like so much negative energy. It's just like player versus player in the worst possible way. So I think that needs to go through the system so that people actually get to, like, why are we here? Why are we early? What does it mean to be early? It means that you discover something that is valuable in the future and you are part of the community early on and you benefit from it. But it's also like it's just a magical experience to be at the forefront of something and contribute to something new. So I think like that it feels to me that the space is getting back to like this mindset of like, okay, actually that's what we want to do. We want to support real things. And then like when you think about that, then like gaming is the obvious kind of a place where Web3 can be used. And it's like it's not a question of, two people play games, like 3 billion people play games. It's a $200 billion industry that is driven by virtual items,
Yeah.
So it's clearly an obvious kind of like a match for Web3 and like rule ownership and so forth. But I think like one thing that hasn't happened in Web3 gaming, which should, and we're trying to make it happen, is like, if you just build a game and you have assets on chain and you have a token and it is more open and more kind of like, it's a kind of a, but I would say at the same time, like the user experience is similar to, trading CSGO skins or something. So the real value of owning something comes out if it actually has utility in many different places. So I think like that's kind of like missing in the Web3 gaming space, where like you buy an asset for a specific game, but if it's only in this game, then like why do you even like what's the value of ownership? Like of course it has value, like, but it's like it's limited and it's not that much different as a player experience than a Web2 game basically that has secondary trading or something. So I think like the answer is like it's obvious that games are going to be such an important part of the kind of Web3 economy and so forth, because they're already so big, they're already driven by virtual assets. I think there's a few learnings, unlocks, experiments, innovation that needs to happen for Web3 gaming to truly shine. And I think like interoperability has to be one of those. And it's just like nothing is going to stop people from spending more time in virtual worlds. And it's just like in 5 years, we're going to spend more time in virtual worlds. In 10 years, much more. So it's just obvious it's going to happen. It's going to be bigger. And it's obvious that Web3 is going to be an important part of it. So I think that's just like that drives attention to the space over the long run.
Yeah, I just think it's inevitable. We don't know exactly when. I'm in the same camp as you. I think it's inevitable. Metaverses will come back. Gaming will come back because more people are spending more time indoors, and it's going to continue to go that way. That's just how our society is built. As technology improves, more people feel more comfortable. Just look at like, less people are going into the office. I mean, it's just technology is such allowing people to stay at home. So I think one day the metaverse will come back and shine. Who knows when, but you guys will be at the forefront. Timmy, we're gonna wrap things up because we like to keep things short, attention spans. But final words on your end for anybody listening about Ready Player Me, literally anything. Floor is yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think like, we kind of built the right foundation with Reddit Family to do this interoperability and stuff. And I'm just like super excited about what we're building with Player Zero now, kind of bringing together the kind of consumer experience with the developer network. We'll make a lot of announcements in the next weeks and months on partnerships with games and so forth. So we're putting a lot of our efforts there. So if anyone's interested in kind of this problem or experience, or just wants to play games, then please find us and reach out. I think we'll do interesting things in the next months and years.
Incredible. Timu, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Pleasure's mine. Everyone on Spotify, head over to YouTube. We're also going to make sure to put Player Zero's X information, as well as their website where you can find the games, the avatars, the app. And you'll also find Late Now and Bases information. If you haven't done so already, just please like and subscribe. It's free, costs you nothing, helps me produce more banger content on the reg. Till next time, everyone, this has been Player Zero with your boy Late Night on Base, Build a Bull. Take care, everyone.